Now it's the end of the day, everybody's tired. It's only 2 more workshops to go. This one and the one related to nursing afterward. I'm delighted and excited and super happy to present Dr. Ali Lahedib. He's the Dean of the Dentistry College at King Saud bin Abdulaziz University for Health Sciences. And also, he's the most delighted person to work with. I'm really excited and happy to present him. So please, Dr. Ali.
Thank you, Faris. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 6th workshop of the International Exhibition and Conference of Ministry of Higher Education. And during this session, we'll try to cover certain objectives in relation to the dental licensure procedure and the pharmacy licensure procedure in US. So we have with us 6 delighted, valuable speakers today. We'll start with Professor Ken Hargreaves. Professor Hargreaves is a professor and chairman of the Department of Endodontics in Dental School, University of Texas Health Sciences Center, San Antonio. Please welcome Professor Ken.
Well, thank you very much for this incredible opportunity to talk to you about advanced dental education with an emphasis on opportunities that are available at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. And if I could have the first slide, please. Go. So, in answer to the question of who am I, I'm actually professor and chair of the Department of Endodontics at the University of Texas. However, I also have cross appointments in the School of Medicine, in the Department of Surgery, as well as in the graduate school in the departments of pharmacology and physiology. And this is one of the key distinctions that I think that we have in San Antonio, is that not only do we provide education that is focused on clinical specialties of dentistry, but in fact, because we're a health science center, we're actually integrated together. And so many of us cross-fertilize each other's fields in terms of both scholarship, but also in terms of patient care. I'm also the editor of the Journal of Endodontics, and my own area of research is in the area of pain therapeutics, and the role of stem cells in regenerative endodontic therapy. At UT Health Science Center in San Antonio, we are now moving into a new clinical facility, which will be a state-of-the-art clinical facility in my own area of endodontics. Not only is everything digitized, we have our own cone beam CT and all the latest equipment that we would need to provide the highest level of training and the highest level of patient care that would be available. Specifically, in terms of UT San Antonio, we have all of the CODA-recognized dental specialty programs. This is an absolutely broad spectrum health science center that's available. However, the deadlines for the application, the interviews, and the particular start dates are actually program specific. And so this is important because there's not just one simple approach to be able to do this. In terms of endodontics, for example, we have an evaluation of dental school transcripts. And this is from standardized translation services. We require official TOEFL scores as well as GRE exam scores. We do not require national board scores at the time of application. And the website actually contains all information in terms of applying for the endodontic program. Now, this is an impossible slide to read, so please don't try to read that. But I've brought several hundred copies if you're interested. I've actually provided all of this information for all of the advanced programs that are available at the University of Texas Health Science Center. So if you or a colleague has an interest in dental specialty education, particularly in San Antonio, please see me after the talk, and I would be more than happy to give you this link to all of the specific programs that we have, the start dates, the application process, the program directors. let me try to give you a flavor of what distinguishes San Antonio specialty education from that of other programs. All of the programs, as you just heard on the medical panel discussion, all of the programs in the United States for dentistry all meet the same minimal criteria. So if you have a certificate in endodontics from one university, you know that you've met the same minimal criteria as every other university. Having said that, each program is distinctive in some type of measure. And one of the aspects that I think is of particular importance in terms of San Antonio is this knowledge that a clinical specialty is not simply your hands. The most important tool as a specialist, in fact, is your brain. And so we really feel that in addition to training you to be superb, caring, ethical clinicians, that it's important to have an element, a strong thematic element in terms of scholarship. And that research scholarship is actually what distinguishes in part a specialist from a general dentist. Now this was taken just last year in 2013 at the American Association of Endodontists meetings, and shows you 4 of our residents who all won national research awards for their presentations. And you'll note that 2 of our residents are actually our Saudi Arabian residents that are SACM supported. On the far left is Dr. Riyad Al-Thamuri, who won first prize for his research among all residents in the United States that he did at the annual session. And in the 3rd position is Dr. Obada Asta, who at the time won a research award for his table clinic presentation. And let me give you a flavor of the type of research that you might be able to enjoy as a resident in San Antonio. So it's been well known now for a number of years that the immature tooth that has early caries involvement or has a developmental defect such as a dens can often develop pulpal necrosis, and that this tooth is arrested in early root development and often has a very compromised long-term prognosis because of this blunderbuss open apex. Until recently, there's not been any satisfactory way to provide long-term care for this tooth. Apexification techniques have been attempted, but really the tooth never has any chance to continue to regenerate. What we now realize is that there's a completely new paradigm for being able to provide regenerative endodontics, and that at the end of this blunderbuss apex is a rich source of mesenchymal stem cells. And these stem cells are in that gray ball at the very end of the root, and that structure is called the apical papilla. We've developed clinical techniques that following pulpal inflammation and eventually pulpal necrosis, these clinical techniques allow us to disinfect this root canal system, and then we can actually transfer mesenchymal stem cells from the root canal space into the tooth and allow the tooth to actually regenerate. Shown on the left is the very first study in humans to demonstrate that mesenchymal stem cells are delivered into the root canal space of immature teeth. And so this clinical study on the left is the very first that was ever done, and it was done in children. And this is a San Antonio study done by my resident Tyler Lovelace. Shown on the right is the very first clinical study in adults. This was a clinical trial in 21 participants, average age of 56 years, from 18 to 85 years of age, looking at the entry of stem cell markers into the root canal space. And you can see that both in children on the left and in adults on the right, that this regenerative procedure triggers the influx of a massive concentration of mesenchymal stem cells, several hundredfold greater than stem cells that are found in the patient's own natural vascular compartment. And we can take advantage of these stem cells to do regenerative therapies. This is something that is not done in theory. This is actually part of our education in San Antonio. So we've actually expanded the residency program from a 24-month program to a 26-month program to allow our residents to do more cases in regenerative endodontics. And courtesy of our current resident, Obada Asta, I'd like to share with you one of his cases on regenerative endodontics. This is a previously initiated tooth that would have been treated with calcium hydroxide therapy for 9 months with no effect at all. In fact, there was negative responsiveness to electrical pulp testing. You can see he determined the working length of the case. He then applied an antibiotic to disinfect the root canal system, healed the sinus tract, did his regenerative procedure with blood flowing into the root canal space, again, blood that is enriched with high levels of stem cells. And here's the case immediately post-operatively, 6 months later, and then 1 year later, the patient comes back. You can see that not only do we have healing of apical tissue, we actually have closure of that open apex. And at that 1 year recall, the tooth was now reinnervated. The patient was now responsive to electrical pulp testing. Moreover, we've done three-dimensional cone beam CT images, as you can see here, and once again with 3D cone beam images, we can actually demonstrate that this regenerative procedure allows us to completely heal the tooth. And I think this gives you a flavor of what we think distinguishes San Antonio from many other programs, that all programs meet CODA requirements. Your certificate in advanced training in all programs is going to be similar. What you should be searching for is an institution that matches your needs. In San Antonio, we believe that what distinguishes a specialist from a general dentist is not just your hands, it's your brains. And that by using your brains, you are able to do new types of therapy, in this case, stem cell-based therapy, to provide completely new ways of being able to treat patients in ways that we've not been able to have before. So once again, I wish to simply thank everyone here for this incredible opportunity to share with you advanced educational training that's available at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. And if you're interested, please meet me afterwards, and I can give you a readable version of this table. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Prof. Ken. And our next speaker is Professor Christian Stoller. He's the Dean of the Columbia University College of Dental Medicine and the Senior Vice President of the Columbia University Medical Center in New York. Please welcome Professor Stoller.
Thank you, Dean Ali. It's my great pleasure to be here, and I'm a real fan of Saudi students. I think two of our probably most prominent students, one is now a dean and the other one is a vice dean, and that tells you that there is a great strength in universities collaborating with you. Specifically, I would like to talk about the situation at Columbia. And what we need to recognize is the match has become a real problem for students from many foreign countries to become part of our residency programs. The reason is we have expanded the number of schools, and the opportunities for students to become part of this match is an issue. And for that reason, Columbia is looking into new opportunities to open the doors to truly create leadership for students that come back to Saudi Arabia and assume roles that are going to be extremely important in the future of the country. What we would like to do is combining fellowships and residency programs with additional degrees, such as a master or a PhD in the Teachers College, leading to a degree in education, Master of Public Health with a Doctor of Public Health, together with the School of Public Health. And this again would be combined with a fellowship or a residency program. We are in the final process of putting into place a Doctor of Dental Science, similar to what you know from Harvard and from Penn University, in an attempt to create a clinical doctoral degree leading to more translational research, and then finally the standard PhD that Columbia has had for many, many years that should be also combined with such an opportunity in the clinical field. And in order to take advantage of the university at large, we are open to any suggestion that a student might have to work with any other department of the 18 schools in the Columbia system. What we would like to see for this special program, and clearly this is a program that would actually get the student out of the match to some extent, a commitment of a home university, that there is a future for that student in the university to assume a position there and then ultimately move up the ladder to significant leadership. And we would like to see evidence of the applicant's commitment to excellence in whatever form, and this is basically a new way for us to recruit students that are going to be meaningful for us and meaningful for you. They contribute to our research enterprise and they contribute to your future in the sense that they will ultimately train the students that are in your pipeline. There are some restrictions that we see with the fellowship. The fellowship in the state of New York only allows you to see patients for 90 days. There is a greater program in Manhattan that has been seeing a lot of fellows in New York University, and their program is actually subject to the same rule, and they have to make the same adjustment that the clinical exposure, hands-on, is limited to 90 days. In a non-CODA approved program, I mean the program that is not approved by the Commission on Dental Accreditation. And if there is, an exposure in a program that is approved by the Commission on Dental Accreditation, the license is granted to see patients for the duration of the program, and we will have to comply with these rules, and we do not see a change in the immediate future, although, all the 5 deans in the state of New York are working aggressively on making that difference. I think I would like to give you an idea about Columbia University and what the opportunity for students is at Columbia. You shouldn't look at a dental school here. You should look at a bigger university, and the more a student takes advantage of the bigger university, the greater the experience at Columbia. Should also get an idea about the quality of the university. When you look at the US News and World Report, Columbia ranks number 4th. When you look at the Center for Measuring University Performance administered by the Arizona State University, Columbia is ranked number 1, tied with MIT, Stanford, and Penn in the United States. And on the Shanghai 500, Columbia is ranked in number 12 position. Clearly, we are not here for just educating the average students. We are here to create, exceptional leadership if you are thinking of sending us a student. Give you an idea about the bigger university. There's no other university in the world that has created more Nobel Prize winners than Columbia. 98 people are affiliated with Columbia and have received Nobel Prizes. The University of Columbia is mostly located in the state of New York, mostly in the city of New York. It's actually on 116th, 125th, and on 168th Street. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Columbia Global and what this means. This is how 116th Street looks like. That's the core of the university, where all the traditional, disciplines are. It's the flagship. You find here, mostly, the Columbia College. You find here the Teachers College. You have, engineering here. You have disciplines that are crucial for the future, such as arts and sciences, with the mathematics, with machine learning, all these disciplines that ultimately have an impact on support for clinical decision and regenerative biology, informatics, and so on, that the future of dentistry clearly needs to be part of. On 125th Street is the newest project of the University of Columbia, a major rebuild of a new building of a campus, the development of a new campus of about 6.8 million square feet. And here you see what is going to happen here. A seawall is going to be built in order to create, a campus that will host, the major new specialties that are going to be a future of what a university is all about, including, studies into the brain and the mind, studies into informatics, studies into the ideas of regenerating tissues and so on. Again, we would like to be part as a dental school, and we would like to see our students be heavily engaged in this new endeavor on 125th Street. When it comes to 168th, that's where all the medical sciences are. A major campus that hosts also the number 6 ranked hospital in the US, including the hospital where your king was operated. And it's a hospital where the dental school is fully interfaced into the tertiary care environment, and the boundaries are non-existent. We are working very hard on trying to get, the medical dental technologies integrated in the sense of information technologies, and it's an environment where one can clearly look for new questions that you couldn't solve in many, many other areas. Same as Dr. Hargraves has said, we have a center for translational research, and this gives you opportunity that not many dental schools in the US have available, to allow students to pursue questions that otherwise wouldn't be possible in the absence of such an activity. And then finally, I need to talk to you a little bit about Global. Global is our latest initiative, and it's linked to the idea of President Bollinger, who has the vision that, the future science, the future leadership is a global leadership, and that many of the questions that will impact on the future of mankind are actually questions that are true for each and every nation. This includes global warming, oil spills, and many of the health issues that we would like to be involved in. These are the 8 centers around the world, and they're used to work for, finding questions, relevant questions, study questions in different parts of the world, and trying to come up with unique answers that ultimately will serve the community, the global community as a whole. This is a transformation that many of the US universities are involved in, trying to become global university from, an original origin in the city of New York to something that will serve the world as a whole. Dentistry is very attractive, and therefore, we heard about the success of your match last year. I think we are going to see a significant pressure on the match, because when you look at US News and World Report about the most desirable profession, dentistry is now the leading health discipline on this list, being number 3, number 1 being the software developer, and number 2 the computer system analyst. This is clearly a profession that people want to be in, and quite often we see a situation where a student matches in a medical school and in a dental school and chooses to end up in a dental school. The physician is now a number 8 as a consequence of the healthcare reform and many of the uncertainty that are linked to it. We are at a moment of disruption, and the disruption is usually an opportunity for university to discover new fields, to discover, new ways for us to do business. And the reason for that disruption is that for the first time in the history of mankind, we have the congruence of 2 fields coming together in ways that they are creating a transformative future. It's, with the genome project came information, and biology and information becomes one, leading to a new way, a new opportunity for us to deal with, health, well-being, as well as disease. And that kind of background is something that forces, each and every school to think beyond the boundaries of its discipline, to look for science that is coming in from other areas in an attempt to find new answers for the future. A really exciting time in the history of dentistry. Probably in my lifetime is probably the most exciting time, and for students to be embedded in a large university where the opportunities are available at the fingertip is something that you will need to consider. And clearly the willingness of the faculty to open the opportunities, looking at dual degree as a way to blend the decision and take the pressure off the match is something that is going to be important for all of us. Giving an idea about how learning happens in a new modern university. It is collaborative, it is integrated, it is active, people talk to each other. It's a new way of thinking about how an environment can be transformed in order to make great things happen. Also, the architecture is transformative. Open spaces, highly interactive, to allow the random encounters to lead to the discovery and the cross-fertilization among disciplines. In sum, we are very excited. I think our track record with Saudi students has been extremely good, and the uniqueness, similar to what Dr. Hargreaves was saying, is that we are not necessarily looking for the average resident, the average fellowship. We are looking for those students that want to go the extra way to discover new ways of making a better world for all of us. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Christian. Now we are moving to another important topic, which is the pharmacology. And we're going to start with Dr. Nasser Zawiya. Dr. Nasser, he's the Dean of the Graduate School Biomedical Sciences at the University of Rhode Island and a professor of pharmacology and toxicology at the same university. Please welcome Dr. Nasser.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. أو نايمين. Thank you so very much, to Dr. Samar and Dr. Abdulaziz Al-Isa for the invitation. I'm really very honored to be amongst you, and I'm very impressed to see the amount of investment in higher education that's going on in the kingdom, and the amount of effort that your government is going to provide you the best in the world and to bring the best in the world to you. I am a pharmacologist, but I am not a pharmacist. And as you go into this process, you understand the difference. But I will not be speaking about pharmacology. I will be speaking about pharmacy. And I'm very hopeful that if there are any questions that I'm not able to answer, I have pharmacists in the audience that will help me to look at that. I'm presenting to you the University of Rhode Island, and we are really in the smallest state in the United States in terms of area, but not in terms of population. We consider ourselves to be in a very ideal spot between Boston and New York. And we have beautiful, beaches, and we have historic Providence very close to us, within 20 minutes, Boston and New York, and we don't have the disadvantages of living in a very crowded city like New York that requires some very creative buildings. This is our campus. This is the quadrangle, our campus in the middle of the University of Rhode Island. And we have about 13,000 undergraduate students studying, towards their bachelor degree. We have 3,000 graduate students whom I am responsible for as the Chief Academic Officer of Graduate Education. We have students from 52 nations and 45 U.S. states and territories represented. The student to faculty ratio is very good, at our university, 16:1, and 2/3 of classes on campus have fewer than 29 students. So I hope I did some advertising for our university, and that becomes attractive. But I'm here to talk to you about, several opportunities in pharmacy, in pharmaceutical sciences, and the first one I will start with is BS in pharmaceutical sciences, or what we refer to as BSPS, which is a relatively new program for us. This is a 4-year degree. This is not, a professional degree. It's designed, for training for students to go into research, industry, and government, focused. And potential pathways, they can later on go for MS or PhD. And we also have the Doctor of Pharmacy, so I'll speak our PharmD program, a 6-year degree, and this is clinical professional focus. In addition to that, in the College of Pharmacy, we also have master's and PhD programs in pharmaceutical sciences. The BSPS curriculum is 2 years of pre-professional coursework, and it's really basic things that you get science and math and general university education. And then it's 2 years professional tracking, advanced science skills, pharmacology, medicinal chemistry, and then students can choose a focus area, whether it's pharmaceutics, natural product chemistry, cosmetic science, pharmacology, toxicology, or regulatory affairs. You're directly admitted to the BSPS as a freshman, right out of high school or secondary education. And to hold a seat in professional curriculum, junior and senior years, the next 2 years, you have to meet all of the first 2-year prerequisites to move. The specializations in the BSPS is the first stage is the I don't know if I can point or how to use the pointer. Is natural products, medicinal chemistry, I've already mentioned that, pharmacology, even bioinformatics. Then you go to the development phase where you're learning pharmaceutics and clinical pharmacokinetics, and then the aftermarketing, which is epidemiology, economics, regulatory affairs, and management. And the PS curriculum designed 3 to 4 years. There are core courses, and I'll skip that in the interest of time. For pointing? Okay. Okay. I think I will be fine. Yeah. And these are the core courses. And we have labs, formulations, manufacturing, medicinal chemistry, and molecular biology. We happen to have really a state, maybe the latest and built College of Pharmacy building with the latest and innovation in building structures, maybe in the country, and a $75 million facility. It's not pictured here, but at the basement of that is also a manufacturing facility in the university. So we are incorporating that into the curriculum, and these students are prime candidates for that. Again, this is more on the BSPS curriculum. Now I will switch to the PharmD curriculum. It's 2 years pre-professional requirements in general education, and then 4 years of professional curriculum referred to as P1 to P4. 3 years coursework, P1, P2, P3, and an introductory pharmacy practice experiences. And then the 4th year is advanced pharmacy practice experience, which is rotations, and I'll explain some more of that. We are one of very few pharmacy schools in the US, maybe less than 10, where we are 0 to 6. We take students straight from high school, secondary education, and at the end of the 6th year, they get a PharmD, Doctor of Pharmacy degree. In the first 2 years, they are advised in a university college, but they are holding a seat, they automatically transfer to the professional curriculum if they maintain a certain GPA and successfully complete an interview. We have very limited, seats for year 3 transfers, so we don't take, transfers. And as far as I know, I think from our admissions, this may even extend beyond, 2015. So I'd like to also mention something about overview of the pharmacy application process. You need to complete a common application. There's a $65 fee for that. You have to have your official high school transcripts in English. They must be sent to the Office of Admissions in an envelope that has been stamped and sealed by an official at your local or regional branch of the Ministry of Education. There has to be a scanned copy of the TOEFL or IELTS score report form. We require 79, in the TOEFL and 6.5 as a minimum for IELTS. We need 2 letters of recommendation, from you. 1 letter must be from a science or a math instructor. And we need a paragraph explaining why you would like to study in URI's PharmD program. SAT, ACT scores are optional, but recommended due to the competitive nature of the PharmD process. I think we have over 1,000 applicants for maybe 100, 130 slots. Your offer of admission is contingent upon successful completion of all the current coursework that you're in, and the submission deadline is December 1st. As our colleagues, in medical residency were saying, please pay attention to information on deadlines. And this is information for you how to create a profile, some more information about how you scan, your passport. We'll be happy. We have a booth. It's 615 is the number for the University of Rhode Island, and we will be more than happy to come and talk to you about some of these. High school record is important. High scores in high school coursework is important. Advanced placing in honors courses are very important, and high scores on standard tests are very important. We have with us, Bo, who really, you'll find him in the booth, who does actually look at these applications and evaluate them. In 2013 applicant pool, we had over 1,000 applicants, as I mentioned, for 130 seats. The average SAT score is a 1320. Average ACT score is a composite equals 29. Average GPA is 4.1. This is a very, very competitive class, and in the whole university, our pharmacy students have the highest scores, even above the engineering students. So this is a very competitive group. And the PharmD curriculum is driven, by design to meet accreditation standards. It's an entry-level generalist practitioner. We teach you how to find information and then how to make a good clinical decision for a particular patient. Study ways how to improve compliance in therapy for chronic diseases. Each semester, you get pathophysiology disease, biomedical science, drugs and how they work, and therapeutics, managing patient therapy. These are the core classes. In addition to that, we have what we call IALs, which is seminar case-based around organ system diseases. These are small classes. The students are actually the ones who are teaching or presenting. The faculty member is in the background facilitating the conversation. We also have integrated lab sequences, drug delivery, kinetics, law, health systems management, and self-care. You can see that our approach is, a systems-based approach, and you can see, the sequencing where we go, all the way through, to the end with oncology and hematology. So we have public health, health systems, law and ethics, business, management, pharmaceutics, pharmacokinetics. It's a very holistic, organ-based, approach driven by design to meet the best standards in curriculum design for accreditation. We have pharmacy practice, electives, community practice, pharmacotherapy, drug information and technology, pharmacoepidemiology, managed care, and pharmacoeconomics. We also have research electives for students, bench research or clinical research. They can have a choice of either one. The PharmD early, experience is introductory pharmacy practice experience. This is 300 hours, and students are volunteers. They begin that very early in their career as P1. It's required for both community, hospital, and service learning, And this is designed to expose a student to the workplace culture very early on. Then they have 6 advanced pharmacy practice experiences, at least 1 inpatient, 1 ambulatory care, 1 community, and 1 institutional administration, and then 2 elective rotations. And we have sites all over New England area in hospitals, pharmacies, HMOs, non-traditional practice environments where our students go. You can even go to Alaska. We have also sites in France. We have sites in Hawaii. And maybe with future agreements, we can have sites for our students to come here to Saudi Arabia to do these. You can see that we have really a very high quality institution in our College of Pharmacy, and this is evidenced by the results that our students get in the boards. You can see maybe in 2008 we had a very small, but normally 95 to 97%, 100%, 99% is the first time pass rate of our students. So we prepare our students rigorously, and 100% of them make it on the first trial. And then in terms of employment, they are all employed, and this shows you the distribution where most of them end up, how many are in community, how many are in hospital, and as well as others. And there are a number of things that we provide our students. We do have the state-of-the-art facility right now, 3D visualization. We have patient simulation. We have medical lectures on iPad, electronic medical lectures, teleconferencing, electronic textbooks, and everything else. After they graduate, if they're BSPS students, they can go to graduate programs, pharmaceutical industry, they can go to the federal government. If they are pharmacy students, then they go to the residency programs, PGY 1, 2, and so on, or fellowship programs, or some of them may decide to do a PharmD and an MBA program. And they could also go to graduate programs and do a master's or PhD in at least 4 areas. We have very beautiful learning support. We put our students all in a living community, so they're identifying with each other and they're building bonds and enjoying life on campus and supporting each other. And I believe with that I will stop, and I hope that I've given you an idea about pharmacy education in the US using our College of Pharmacy as a model and the different options that are there, and I'll be happy to take questions from you later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nasser. Now we are flying back to Saudi Arabia to welcome and listen to Dr. Yusuf Asiri. Dr. Yusuf is the Dean of the College of Pharmacy and Professor of the Clinical Pharmacy at the King Saud University. Welcome, Dr. Asiri.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. They told me that I have 5 minutes to talk, and I will do that in rough. But thank you for Dr. Nasser Zawiya. He paved the way for me, and I'll be next slide, please. Just which one? The green. Okay. I cannot see from here. I think the light. It's hard to see. It's hard to see. And I did an operation 3 weeks ago. That's why.
No, okay. It's difficult to see.
I'll be talking about the 3 models, the 3 models of pharmacy education that we have in the world, to set the audience about what is pharmacy education. So we have the Bachelor of Pharmacy, and this is what we have it in the Middle East, in China, in Africa, and this is different than the Bachelor of Pharmacy that Dr. Nasser Zawiya talk about it. This is, if you go and study that, which is 4 years, you will not be allowed to practice in Saudi Arabia. Be aware of that, and Dr. Yasser Tashkandi will be talking more about it. And this is what's, and we have some student who already, we have that in Saudi Arabia. And we have Doctor of Pharmacy, and this is a US model, and it's brand name American degree, but we have it here in Saudi Arabia. And we have, in UK, they have the 6 years, they call it Master of Pharmacy. Anyhow, a student who is involved here after high school diploma, they will get 5 years of bachelor or 6 years if it is a PharmD. The training could be in hospital as well as in community pharmacies, and it's always well structured and short. Working, and this is part of the problem that we have with the BS, working or works in the following field. This is where we are going to talk about more in the last slide. Our pharmacists are working